There's a secret that angry people do not want you to know, but I'm gonna blow up their spot right now. Plus, I'll give you one way to counteract their anger and move this world in the right direction. This is a video about how to reframe our view of angry people, so let's jump in and shift our perspective. Understanding is one of the most powerful tools. It's one of the most powerful tools that we have. Yeah, man, no, I know I messed the line up, but I think it should stay in the video, and I feel like it kind of works. No, it's about humanity. It's about showing that I'm a human and not everything needs to be perfect. All right, Ma, love you too. So real quick, throughout this video, I'm gonna say people that are angry. But the word angry can stand in for plenty of other things, like people that are rude, jerks, assholes, malicious, mean-spirited, inconsiderate, nasty, spiteful, snide, vicious, hostile, cynics, and haters. Essentially, angry can be substituted for anything generally negative. Ran out of breath trying to say the word haters. That's what my haters would want. Now that we got that out of the way, here's the secret. Angry people are actually just hurt inside. Something happened to them that made them so angry. Or again, you can substitute any negative word there, but just understand that they were not born angry. Something happened to them, something caused it. Life dropped some shit on their heads. And if they're still angry, that means that they never truly resolved whatever the original cause of the issue was, and they became this even angrier person because of it. Sadly, not addressing the root cause of the pain that they felt made them alchemize that pain into a defense mechanism that they subconsciously think is protecting them. But instead, meanwhile, it's actually just like a giant gooey spitball in your eye because they're projecting and throwing all this unprocessed nonsense at everybody else out there in the real world, when meanwhile their ego is just trying to keep them safe. The ego is quite the animal, huh? Their unprocessed or underprocessed emotions were caused by some trauma in their life. And now, unfortunately, those feelings are showing up as anger and they're being thrown at you. The angry person probably doesn't even know that their anger comes from trauma because their anger feels like an ingrained part of their personality now. It's just been with them for so long, they think that that's who they really are. But they're not. Underneath all that anger is a sad, hurt little child who just wants healing, safety, and peace. So let's define trauma real quick. In my eyes, trauma is anything that has hurt someone. Simple. It could be big or small, monumental or minute, well-intended or ill-intended, life-shattering or just kind of itchy. But it's anything that has caused someone any level of pain. For the person that you're dealing with, trauma caused a rupture in their soul that they've been bleeding from ever since because they just never found a band-aid that worked for them. So if you're dealing with someone angry, I'm sorry about that. I know it sucks and I know it's not easy. I've been there plenty of times myself. But one thing that you have to remember while you're going through this is that you do not deserve this, and you did not cause this to happen to you either. Their anger is a trauma response that you had nothing to do with. Even if you feel like you caused them to get angry on some level, aka triggered them, or maybe you made a mistake or said something wrong or accidentally stumbled upon a pain point of theirs that you didn't know existed, so they may be justified in being a little bit annoyed. Okay, but they are not justified in being unreasonably angry. There's a certain amount of benefit of the doubt that the angry person should be showing you, as agreed to in the Being a Human on Earth contract that we all signed once we showed up on this planet. And the feeling of being annoyed is absolutely allowed and completely valid, but flipping out is not. Annoyed, frustrated, disappointed? Sure. Yelling, degrading, insulting? Not okay. It's their responsibility to allow for occasional mistakes, with a little tinge of being bothered here and there, sure, but that does not justify getting super angry or taking shots at someone over something that is essentially inconsequential in the grand scheme of things. Don't forget that we're floating around in the middle of nowhere in space on a little blue and green dot. It's not gonna matter at the end of the day. Maybe you hit their trigger point. Okay, it is what it is, but simmering hot anger on their side does not warrant you being disrespected by them. Now, just because their anger comes from trauma does not mean that their anger is justified. They're not allowed to go take this out on you because they suffered something. I'm not making excuses for anyone here, but I do hope that what I'm saying is providing some context as to why they are the way they are. Just because they suffered some as yet unprocessed trauma does not give them a get-out-of-jail-free card to just walk around being horrible to other people. Their trauma explains why they're that way, but it should never condone it. Remember, anger isn't always reasonable. Do you feel reasonable when you get angry? Probably not, and you probably consider yourself a pretty measured person. But anger is a powerful emotion and it can take over things fast. Well, remember that next time someone is angry with you. It doesn't make it right, but their judgment is clouded by their anger. Now, if you feel like someone is extra angry or overreacting for no discernible reason whatsoever, it's probably because they are. I feel like you have a pretty good gauge of that. Like, you can notice when someone is like slightly more elevated than they really need to be. But that person is still subconsciously dealing with that unhealed pain. It's just unfortunate that you happen to be at the business end of that pain's lightsaber. Sorry. Ow. Switching metaphors on you, you are standing in front of a dam that's ready to burst. That's you right here, and here's the dam. Of course you didn't fill up that dam with all that water, but you're still standing in front of years worth of that water accumulating. And the person doesn't even realize that they're about to hurt you because of the things that you had no part in whatsoever. It was their trauma that filled that dam up, but they might not realize that it was their trauma because trauma then hides in a hole and buries itself, all while running the show from a military bunker deep underground inside of that person's heart. And they might not even realize that trauma has been calling the shots this entire time. Now, as you know, anger can be highly toxic for those within the fallout zone, which brings me to a super important point here, which is this: do not stay in toxic situations. If someone is angry, it might just be best for you to leave that scene. Just exit. Angry people can sometimes lose control, and you really don't want to be around for that. You also don't need their anger just constantly bringing you down. So you may have to seek shelter before they start to curdle your personality or wear you down to the point where you actually adopt some of their negative traits. Don't let that happen. Be kind to them for as long as you can at the highest level that is safe for you. And please hear me when I say that word especially. At the highest level that is safe for you. But do not allow yourself to be polluted by that toxic force. Kindness until you can't any longer, and then remove yourself for your own safety and sanity. Now, with all this talk of anger, or generally any negative trait that we could substitute the word anger for, it's probably a good idea to spend a moment looking inward. Is there anything that you get extra angry about? Anything that sets you off unreasonably? Anything that spirals out of control for you a little bit too quickly? I know I have those things. Maybe that can help point us to some unresolved trauma in our lives that needs some looking at. Just a thought. Whenever you're dealing with an angry person or just someone exhibiting any negative emotion in excess, just remember that you are dealing with a trauma survivor, a victim, a hurt little soul child who did not deserve the pain that they are dealing with, and they have no idea what to do about it still, regardless of their current age. They might truly benefit from you showing them some kindness. They might really need that. So give it freely and hope that it helps. It probably is, but then retreat if it ever gets toxic. Protect yourself when you need to, but uplift the world in the meantime. Your kindness could truly change their lives and the lives of everybody else in their orbit. Their coworkers, their family, the person at the ballpark that they're mad at because their hot dog wasn't hot enough. Everybody inside of their circle in that orbit is going to be benefiting from you being kind to them. Plant the seed of kindness, which will start to help them heal, and smile knowing that you're helping them heal in some small way, even if you never actually get to see it happen. I hope this video was a good reframe for people that bring their negative emotions to the forefront of their personalities. Try to remember this video next time you're dealing with somebody like that, and I hope you can work with a perspective shift that makes you see them and the situation a different way. Remember, do something that makes the world a better place this week. People need you. You are the better echo. You actually are the better echo. Subscribe, like, get a sticker at the link below, or watch one of these, and I'll see you next time. And if you notice the fancy new scars on my hands, it's because I, a grown man, crashed a scooter the other day. Yep, one of these.